Hey guys, how's it going? Solo back with another daily stock market video, and we've got a lot to talk about today. We're going to take a look at Space or Virgin Galactic again. We haven't taken a look at this stock in quite some time, and some big news broke about 2 to 3 days ago that has sent the stock soaring. So I'm going to tell you why. As we always do, I'm just going to do a quick recap on how we traded on the last market day. I'm going to show you how Virgin Galactic has been doing the past week. I'm going to show you two news articles that just came out. One is good news and one is bad news, so you have to decide which one we want to believe. We're going to do updated technical analysis so we can try and predict how Virgin Galactic or Space is going to trade this coming trading week. And as always, we're going to end the video looking at the option flow data to see what the big money investors were doing with Virgin Galactic options on Friday. So let's get right into it. Look at the quick heat map here. If you haven't seen my other video from yesterday, make sure you go check it out. But as we can see, not a great day in the market on Friday. Much red on the board, much more than green, but that doesn't really affect us. Let's get right into it because we have a long video ahead. This is going to be for Space or Virgin Galactic. So let's take a look at Robinhood. You know, again, not a great day for Space on Friday either. Seems like the market just dragged it down with it. Down over 7.8% on the day. Really never had a chance. I mean, from 10 a.m. to 10:25 a.m. to get that drop in 25 minutes, went from being down only 2.3% to being down over 8.6%. We did have a little bit of a rally then, but we slowly just melted off all day long. Looks like after hours we had a little bit of a pump, but still we just melted off into the weekend. But let's take a look to see what happened over the week. So if you take a look at this huge spike from January 13th to 14th. And the reason why, I'm going to tell you when we cover the news articles. But over the whole week, we were kind of just slowly, gradually melting up and up and up. Had a huge spike on Thursday. We sold off a little bit because the market dragged it down on Friday. But overall, for the week, we're still up 23% on Virgin Galactic for the week, which is nothing to be unhappy about. On the month, still up 19.5%. On the past 3 months, up almost 40%. And on the year, up almost doubled your money, almost 95%. So overall, if you're a short-term, really even a mid-term or long-term holder of Virgin Galactic, if you have had shares for quite some time, you're still looking pretty good. Let's take a look at the option chain just to see how juicy some of these premiums are, because I am looking to sell some more cash puts on Virgin Galactic. If you've been following my channel, you know I secured max profit on a bunch of puts on Space and Mara just this past trading day for about $200 in profit for the week. So I'm really happy about that. And I am looking to open up some more cash secured puts on Space. Let's just see how juicy these premiums are. So if I wanted to sell some puts at the money, I would collect $146 for $3,050 in capital that will be required. So that is going to be 146 divided by 3050. It's going to give me a return on risk of 4.8%, which is very good. That's rather juicy. So I am looking to open up some more weekly puts to get some more max profit, hopefully, on some Space shares. And I do have two other plays that I'm looking at. Stay tuned for my video coming up tomorrow, because tomorrow is Martin Luther King Day, so the stock market is closed. So the first trading day of this week is going to be on Tuesday. So I'm going to put out my possible plays that I'm looking at making in tomorrow's video. So make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when that gets put out. Let's take a look at the news articles, because I am liking how juicy these premiums are right now to see, are we looking good? Are we looking red on Space? So the first article, here it is right here. This one is a bearish article. I told you in the video earlier on that we have one good news, one bad news. Let's get the bad news out of the way. So this one is titled, Why Virgin Galactic Looks Much More Risky After Its Ships Malfunction. So this article was just put out on January 15th. And I gotta say, you know, this is old news now. This, test flight malfunction happened over a month ago. So I'm not sure why they're still reporting on it or why they're harping on it. But this guy, I was reading through the article, Larry Raymer, he seems very bearish on Space. He's saying the company is very risky and they have a elevated valuation. And he's saying he recommends that investors sell the shares. So he's a super bear on Space right now. And he's saying that it's impossible to know whether a fatal accident will destroy the company's business. And I agree with that, but you could say the same thing about the airline companies. If an unfortunate event happens with Boeing or one of the other airlines, their stock tends to go down as well. So space, I think, would be similar to that. And he's saying it's hard to know how many wealthy people will actually go through with paying $250,000 for a 90-minute ride. Again, I don't know. A lot of wealthy people also want to go to space because there's not that many people that have been to space. And if they have the money, I don't know, I'm sure they're going to pay for it. But he's saying, in the wake of last month's failure, I believe the chances of a ruinous, fatal accident have meaningfully risen, and the odds of it attracting tens of thousands of customers has significantly dropped. And we all know about this malfunction during their test flight. I've reported on it in prior videos, so I'm not going to rehash this again. But I will say the one actual factual point, or the one data point that I think is actually a good point that he brings up, is down here at the bottom of the article. And he's saying that right now, the company had about 600 customer reservations, and another 400 people were showing an interest in the company's offering. So basically, they have 600 people that bought tickets and another 400 that were thinking about buying a ticket. And he's saying that Virgin Galactic is looking to sell tickets for between 200 and 250K. And based on his math, even if all 1,000 of those people buy a ticket, the 600 plus these 400, that means that, let's say we have an average ticket price of $225,000, halfway between 200 and 250, that only equals $225 million of revenue for the company. Now, that's all great. That seems like a big number, but you have to consider that the company right now is valued at $6.25 billion. So the point he's making is that, okay, they have a chance to make $225 million, but the company is valued at $6.25 billion with a B. So it's really overvalued. And like I said, that's even if all 1,000 of these people buy a ticket. So, I mean, in my opinion, I do think the whole stock market is overvalued. So it's not surprising that Virgin Galactic is overvalued with it. But let's go on to the more bullish article and not be a Debbie Downer. So this article, and this is why the stock pumped on Thursday. So this title is 3 Space Stocks Rocketing Higher on ARK's Space Ambitions. So if you're not familiar with Cathie Wood, she has the largest actively managed ETF in the world. So Catherine Wood, or Cathie Wood, or Aunt Kathy as people like to call her on the internet, she's the CEO and CIO, and she's considered this era's Warren Buffett. And she's led their flagship ETF, which is the ARK Innovation ETF, ticker symbol ARKK, to a 170% return over the past year. So Thursday morning is when news broke that Cathie Wood is going to open up a new ETF, which is going to be a space exploration ETF under the ticker symbol ARKX. Okay, so looking through some of the rules, this ETF is going to open up about 75 days from last Thursday. So in about 2 to 3 months is when we will be able to trade and buy and sell ARKX. So obviously, once Cathie Wood is saying she's going to make a space ETF, all the space stocks, including Virgin Galactic, are going to pump. And that's exactly what happened. Virgin Galactic went up 7, 8, 9% Thursday alone. Like I said, we sold it off because the market tanked on Friday. So it might be a buy the dip opportunity right now, because I have to imagine in the run up to this ETF being opened, and once Cathie Wood starts buying hundreds of thousands or maybe even millions of shares of these stocks, their price is only going to go up. So right now, they're also saying, if we scroll down, there's 2 other tickers that might be worth looking at, and that's Maxar Technologies, ticker symbol MAXR, or Maxar we'll just call it, and Momentus, which is going to go public via a SPAC, and that SPAC is SRAC, S-R-A-C. So let's just do a quick dive. Now, I will say that Cathie Wood has not disclosed yet which stocks she's going to include in her ETF. This is all just investors and traders like myself speculating. So nothing has been confirmed yet, so just take everything I say with a grain of salt. But if we take a look at Maxar, if you're not familiar with the company, they have been around for a long time. In fact, they've been around since Neil Armstrong landed on the moon. And so, well, what do? They have a ton of expertise in all things space related. And what they're saying is that what they're going to do now is that they're going to pay down their debt, they're going to reduce the size of their operations, and they're going to focus their business model around its strengths. Because before, the article is saying that they were spread very thinly, and it seems like they weren't doing well. And they're in the Earth intelligence and space infrastructure. And they're also involved with the 5G and autonomous driving technology because as a byproduct, so once 5G and these self-driving cars take off, they're going to need Maxar's space tech solutions over the next years. So on the 5G side, their business will get a big boost as companies pour money into building out non-terrestrial 5G networks, basically satellites in space. And in terms of the self-driving cars, those are going to require granular 30-centimeter imaging data, the likes of which only Maxar can produce thanks to its existing constellation of imaging satellites. So it seems like if you're in the EV space or the self-driving car space, if you're in the 5G space, Maxar seems like a logical play because all these companies are going to need Maxar's products, basically. The next company is, I said, Momentus, which is going to go public through a SPAC called SRAC. And that stands for Stable Road Acquisition Company. Now, Momentus is considered a space mobility company. So what they're doing is they build space transfer vehicles, which enables devices to move throughout space. So these things help satellites, once detached from the main rocket, get into their final destination in orbit and switch between orbits and return to the spaceship. So they're building this technology. And again, I haven't heard of this company, but if you don't believe in it, take a look at this. Momentus has been tapped by SpaceX, Elon Musk company, as its transfer vehicle supplier. And it says right here, that's a big deal, but it's also just the beginning. So honestly, I have not heard of Maxar or Momentus, but reading through this article, I'm going to take a hard look at them because even if I don't want to invest in Cathie Wood's ARKX, these may be stocks that I want to buy shares of and go long on for the next 10, 20, 30 years. Let's take a look at the TradingView chart on space, do some updated technical analysis. So right here, you can see the last time we looked at space was actually last year at the end of December. And I kind of predicted that we're going to go two ways. Either we're going to blow past down below the 50-day moving average, or we're going to go up. And it looks like we chose to basically ride the 50-day moving average up. And so we are on an upward trend right now. So let's update some of this TA. I want to move these Fibonacci retracement levels like so. I'm going to move the bottom to the most recent low, which was back actually on January 4th. And let's see what the TA is showing us. So I like right now that my area of support that I drew is pretty much now right in line with the 50% Fibonacci level. So I think around $29.50 is going to be an area of support. I had a previous area of resistance around $32, and it looks like that held up this last trading day. And also looks like this area of support, the intraday low got pretty close to it. So I think our trading range right now is between about $29.50 and a little over $32. So the RSI is a little bit towards the overbought side, but really, the TA is not showing me much in terms of where we're going to go on Tuesday, whether we're going to keep trading up or down. I do think, though, in the more midterm, in the next month or two, space is going to be up and to the right because of this great news about ARKX and them buying in to the ETF, which is going to most likely happen because the other space companies like SpaceX and Blue Origin are not publicly traded. So really, Virgin Galactic is the only option if Cathie Wood wants to get into the space tourism market with her ETF. And like I said, I can't imagine she wouldn't. But right now, I am thinking about selling some cash secured puts, and I'll probably sell them maybe between mid $20 range, somewhere around 25, 26, 27, depending on how the premiums look on Tuesday. Because right now, the 21 and the 50-day moving averages are right around $25.50. So that's going to act as a very strong area of support. And I also have this trend line that I drew at 26, and the 78.6% Fibonacci level is also right there. So you have four areas of support between about $25.50 and $26. So I think, and again, this is not financial advice, but if you sell some puts around this level or even lower than that, you'd probably be secure, especially in a week, because there's so much support there. Let's take a look at the option flow data to see how the big money investors were trading Virgin Galactic on Friday. All right, so here's the Trade UI platform that I use to get my option flow data. We can see we're looking at Space Virgin Galactic for the last trading day on January 15th. 13 orders came in that day. Let's take a look to see what they were. The green boxes represent call options that were bought. The red options are puts. And if we take a look, the biggest order that came in that day was this one early in the morning for $162,000, which was actually a 25 strike call option. And this expires in a month, February 19th. So this is actually a hedge because the strike price is lower than the actual share price. So that's a fairly big hedge there. Here's another option for $152,000, which is a 24 strike call option that was bought. And at the time, again, Space was trading at 31. So this is another hedge. The third biggest option is this right here, right afterwards for $127,000. And that was actually for a 0 data expiration option. So someone again bought some calls as a hedge literally the day that the option was going to expire. So this was most certainly a hedge. So it seems like the biggest options right now are hedges. So I'm wondering if the big money investors are thinking that Space is going to continue to sell off a little bit. Maybe that pump on Thursday about good news on the ARK ETF was a little bit too optimistic, so maybe they're expecting a pullback now. So it's actually interesting to see. As I scroll through, there's this option here for almost 100,000 for a 40 strike call. So this one is actually a bullish option, and this one expires in 2 weeks. So someone is betting about $94,000 that Space is going to continue to rise in the next week or two. So there's one bullish option here. But as I scroll through, a lot of the big money options here are all hedges. So that's sort of good for me because if Space does go down early next week, then it might be a buy the dip opportunity, a way for you to lock in shares at a low price. Or if you like trading options and you like running the wheel strategy for options, you can sell some puts at a lower strike price and for juicier premiums. Let me know in the comments below. Do you think Space is going to go up early next week, or do you believe the big money investors right now in this option flow data and you think it's going to go down? As always, make sure you join our Discord server if you're not in there already. Add me on Twitter, Instagram, Reddit, StockTwits. Most importantly, I hope you're having a happy weekend, and I hope you have a green trading week.